The Questioner, and we're going to be talking about fantasy football crimes. Let's get into it. I recently was in a 14-team league draft, and I was able to witness some dumbass on dumbass crime. This team drafted their third quarterback in round 8. Another team had no quarterbacks drafted by round 8 in a 14-team league. With 14 teams, the quarterback becomes a little bit more important, and you don't want to wait. And the team that waited ended up with Justin Fields and Daniel Jones as their quarterbacks. So that's your first dumbass. And the second dumbass, the third quarterback doesn't help you that much. You could be drafting your third running back, your third wide receiver, or your starting tight end. They will help you a lot more than your third quarterback. Even if you think you can trade later, it's just not going to be the same value. So don't go for too many quarterbacks, and don't wait on your quarterback, especially in a 14-team league. Now, when it comes to fantasy football crime, you want to perpetrate it on your opponents. You don't want to be the victim of it. And sometimes you're the victim of it. It's self-inflicted, like when you draft a kicker in round 9. You don't need to draft a kicker in round 9. The next kicker taken in this draft was in round 12. You could wait 3 rounds or 2 rounds and still get the kicker you wanted. You don't need one that early. So that's just the self-inflicted crime. You can wait until the very last round to take a kicker, and you'll be just fine. Don't take a kicker too early, especially if you're in a money league. You're just throwing your money away, and it's a self-inflicted crime. You're the victim and the perpetrator. Lastly, be careful how you're assembling your team during the draft. You don't want to have too much risk. You don't want to have too many players with suspensions. It creates problems down the line. There are going to be injuries, and you don't want to have a lot of players that are injury prone. You'll really be scrambling. So someone like Dalvin Cook, you know he's going to miss a few games every season. Someone like Raheem Mostert, a lot of injuries, a long injury history. Try not to get too many players that have that injury history. Take your shots, but balance it out with players with a better floor. And now my advice is also not to have Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins. They both have suspensions. You don't want to have both of them on your roster. It creates too much inflexibility. Now that's all I have for today. Try not to be the victim of fantasy football crime. And remember, it's a jungle out there, even if it's an urban jungle. And YouTube, stay free.